What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here for a SmackDown review for June 25th, 2021. But before we get to SmackDown, we have to talk about what happened this afternoon, as 14 WWE superstars from the NXT branch and 205 Live have been released. Killian Dane, the Bollywood Boys, Sunil and Samir Singh, Marina Shafir, Arturo Ruiz, Kurt Stallion, Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Everrise, Chase Parker and Matt Martell, Tony Nese, Arya Daivari, August Gray, and Tino Sabatelli. Now, a few things, like the Bollywood Boys, of course, their biggest run was when they were the guys who could get beat up while Jinder Mahal was ruining the WWE Championship. That was their biggest thing that they did. Marina Shafir, of course, her and Jessamine Duke were hired back when WWE was attempting to get them into ring shape and get them to be able to go for the 4 Horsewomen versus 4 Horsewomen match at a Survivor Series. And unfortunately, somebody in WWE saw them wrestle on NXT, you know, that tag team match, that 6-woman tag team match, where it was the Horsewomen versus, I believe, Dakota Kai, and I can't remember who else it was, but it was Dakota Kai and 2 others. And anytime Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke tagged in, the crowd was chanting, "Please tag Shayna." That's how bad they were. Of course, Jessamine Duke was released a couple weeks ago, back when Aleister Black, Braun Strowman and all were released. So I'm really surprised Marina Shafir didn't get released sooner. Now, what's find this odd is that her husband, Mr. Roderick Strong, just reappeared or resurfaced on NXT as part of Diamond Mine, which honestly feels like it's an MMA-style faction. And honestly, Marina Shafir probably would have been good for that faction. Would have been a way. And there was also rumors after Shayna went up that she was going to join the Undisputed Era, be with her husband. But nothing ever came of it. The last time she was seen on NXT was when Roderick Strong put in his notice and was leaving NXT, and that was it. Now, Arturo Ruiz, as everyone knows, was last seen on Raw Underground. He was drafted to Monday Night Raw during the draft last year. Never made an appearance, was put back on SmackDown, in NXT, and that was that. Never seen again. Kurt Stallion, I don't know a damn thing about. So, nothing I could say there. Everrise would always tag team that would always put other people over, maybe get a win here or there, but they were nothing. I guess they just got a WWE show on YouTube or something from the popularity of their social media show. So, kind of weird for that. Tony Nese, of course, and Arya Daivari and August Gray were saddled with the Cruiserweight division on 205 Live. Didn't really watch 205 Live, so I didn't know anything about August Gray. Tony Nese, of course, used to be in Arya Daivari, used to be part of Monday Night Raw when the Cruiserweight division first started. And, yeah, they didn't do much other than Tony Nese having a couple feuds over the Cruiserweight Championship. And the biggest ones being released are Tyler Breeze, Fandango, and Killian Dane. Killian Dane, the last time I saw, was still doing his comedy tag team with Drake Maverick, which I'm surprised didn't get released again. And apparently WWE didn't see much left with him. So he's gone. Big Damo is coming back. Where he goes, who knows? We will not know anything for these guys till September 25th, around that time. Then you have Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze probably is the biggest one to be released, because he is a member of the party on Up Up Down Down. He's pretty much the co-host of that channel with Xavier Woods. And they have the Battle of the Brands, which I don't know whether that's going to go for now, because where that's going to go. It was funny because Xavier Woods quoted a tweet he put out in 2019 and was wearing a left right shirt, which was Tyler Breeze's group of him, Cesaro, Adam Cole, versus everyone, and versus pretty much everybody else on Up Down Down side. They even made a left right title, and that's probably not going to go anywhere. But people are wondering what's going to happen with left right Up Down Down. Is Tyler Breeze going to still be on there? Honestly, I think if he just and this is the thing, Tyler Breeze has a successful wrestling school going around. he's teaching kids, he's getting people to go and like training them to become better wrestlers and like everything. He might not want to wrestle anymore. He might just want to be a guy who works and helps train people. He's not going to be somebody you're going to... Like, Tyler Breeze is definitely in whatever his name's going to be, Dalton Castle or whatever. He'll be outside of WWE, maybe Prince Pretty, whatever. He's not going to be a guy you're going to strap the rocket to and take him to the top. It's just not going to happen. If he came to AEW, the highest he would get is the TNT Championship, which is not a bad thing, but it's just... Nah. If he doesn't want to go anymore, that's fine. I mean, if he wants to just do his wrestling school thing and stick with working with Woods on Up Up Down Down, that'd be great, because he's been wrestling for a good while. He's did a lot he could do in WWE. Him and Tyler. Sorry about that. I had a bit of hiccups, but he won the NXT Tag Team titles with Fandango, which I don't think anyone expected them to do. And now he's out of WWE, and who knows what's going to happen with any of these guys. Like I said, and Fandango has had multiple stints with WWE when it came to... He came up and became Fandango, the dancing guy who had his first match at WrestleMania, beating Chris Jericho, and then the next night on Raw having the crowd there start dancing and doing the doo-doo to his music, which became a big thing for a minute, which WWE failed to capitalize on, by the way. And just really didn't do anything after that. Went down to NXT. Him and Tyler Breeze teamed up. They came back up as Breezango. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It sucks that anyone loses their job. And then there's Tino Sabatelli. This piece of garbage. Did not even have a match. Didn't even came back. Basically what happened was he got fired last year, part of the Black Wednesday last year. He had one match on AEW Dark. And this was back when AEW was taping a lot. And this piece of garbage decided he wanted to play spoiler. And Chris Jericho didn't mention this guy's name, but called him out as a spy for WWE, and that piece of shit will never be back in AEW. And yeah, funny enough, after he mentioned that, he left. He came back to WWE for a bit. NXT didn't do anything, and yeah, he is gone again. Tino Sabatelli is one of those guys who really gives a shit. He's not that big of a deal. His best time was when he was tag teaming with the former 24/7 champion, the guy I can't think of my name right now. But yeah, he is definitely somebody that I don't expect to see anywhere in the AEW or anywhere anytime soon. It's just, who would want to see that guy? And then also WWE, before all these talents got released writer Kenzie Mobley, who got fired after she was on a podcast talking about the fact that she has no knowledge of professional wrestling, and got hired. They told her that she didn't need to know a lick of WWE as long as you have some kind of you have any experience in movies, and she does. Of course, WWE did not like the fact that she went out there and talked about this, because they don't want people outside of wrestling to know that you have a wrestling company who's hiring writers who know nothing about professional wrestling. It's stupid, and you wonder why. Raw and SmackDown is so bad. That's why. Because they're hiring people. They're just hiring people to they're just hiring people, and it's becoming bad, and you're wondering why it's never gonna work. Why WWE's never gonna get better as long as Vince McMahon is in charge, is because you're hiring people who don't know the goddamn product. So her getting fired, I really don't have any sad things for her. She's if she has any like experience in Hollywood or some kind of TVs or whatever, she'll find a job. So if we want this product to get better, and yes, we all do, then we need WWE to start hiring people who actually get the product and know what makes professional wrestling good, and not somebody who makes movies, even though I know WWE and Vince McMahon wants us to believe they're making movies. They're not. And it's just, So, that is all of that for the firings and releases. I could see, like, Tyler Breeze, again, I don't know what's going to happen with him. Marina Shafir, who knows what's going to happen with her? Honestly, to me, it felt like she never had the heart to be in WWE. She was only doing it because Shayna was doing it, Jessamine Duke was doing it, and Ronda Rousey was doing it. It felt like that's what she was doing. It just never felt like she cared about wrestling. She just was there. She was going, like, anytime she wrestled on TV, and it was very rarely for good reasons, just never felt like her heart was in it. But I don't blame her. I mean, it is WWE. So, who knows what's going to happen with her. Of course, her partner, Jessamine Duke, is still doing her thing on YouTube. And there's that. So, yep. That is all of that. Now we go to SmackDown. And SmackDown was... We are 3 weeks away from the Thunderdome being gone and never, ever, ever having to step into it again, hopefully. So, we open the show seeing what happened with Rey Mysterio and getting destroyed last week. We go to the back. We see Heyman says from the hospital bed, SmackDown Tag Team Champions Mysterios are acknowledging him as the new tribal chief, but they aren't here tonight. He stands up and in walks Jimmy Uso. He asks, "Where's your brother?" Jimmy says, "He's a no-show tonight, but I called and texted him over 100 times and finally got a hold of him. And he said he's not coming back." Reigns is like, I took this guy from just an Uso to being main event Jey Uso, and he doesn't want to come back? That's not flying with Roman Reigns. Jimmy says, "Hey, you know what? I'm here. I got you. Family for family." Reigns asks if this is Jimmy saying he will be your right-hand man. Jimmy ends up saying he can do what his brother does. Reigns says, "Prove it." And Jimmy walks off. So, then we go to the ring. Out comes Bianca Belair for a mixed tag team opener with her and Bayley. Her and Cesaro versus Bayley and Seth Rollins. Now, this fucking opening part here. After the very opening thing with Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso. Awesome. Chef's kiss, all that stuff. Just the best thing they've got going on there. But then Bianca Belair gets a mic and she fucking talks. And I'm going to say right now, Bianca Belair never really had the best mic skills in NXT. But what the fuck are they doing with her? By the way, where's Greg Hamilton at? It was Mike Rome doing introductions tonight. We see stills from weeks away from the returning crowds. Belair says she's about to whoop up on Bayley again. Goes on about her Hell in a Cell win, and while she will never forget all the pain Bayley put her through, she can't stop smiling and celebrating because she walked down in there with the title. And she's so proud of herself. She talks about the bullies and then raises the title, and it's like, oh my God. Who allowed this woman to talk? Who scripted these promos? Now, you have your Raw Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. You have your SmackDown Women's Champion, Bianca Belair. Both of them weren't really the strongest talkers in NXT. Now you have them coming up here, and we're supposed to get these fire promos from them, and they both are nothing but fucking cringe. You have us here hoping they lose their championships because they're just so bad. All Bianca Belair wants to talk about is the bullies and the naysayers that she grew up with. And it's like, shut the fuck up about it. You talked about it one time. That's all you need to talk about it. Stop living in the past. Move fucking forward with your goddamn life. Seriously. How many times do we have to hear the naysayers or the bullies I had, like the people who doubted me? Shut up. Just shut the fuck up. Drop the mic and just sit there, smile, and look pretty doing it. That's all you gotta do because your promo skills fucking suck. So Seth Rollins comes down. He talks about them both being winners. They both need to celebrate. He dominated. She didn't really dominate as much. She won by a fluke. Bayley comes out. They mock her. They fight. Out comes Cesaro. We have a match that was supposed to happen. So Bianca Belair and Cesaro versus Seth Rollins and Bayley. Pretty decent match here, but what's wrong with WWE? This is how thin. This is example one of how thin the SmackDown Women's Division is for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Sasha Banks is MIA. I don't know where the fuck she's at. But Rollins and Cesaro brawling out at ringside. Rollins rolls in to prevent Belair from hitting the KOD on Bayley. Belair loses her balance, and Bayley takes her knee out. Bayley comes right back in, hits the rose plant for the pin and the win. Why do champions lose or take pinfalls? I've said this time and time before, and you'll hear me say it time and time again. Why the fuck would anyone want to be a champion on the main roster in WWE? You lose more times than you win. The only 3 people really in the last 2 years, the last year I should say, who haven't really lost as a champion are, for the most part, is Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns. Roman never loses. Roman should never lose. And Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, of course, yes, he lost to Kofi Kingston, but he lost because of Drew McIntyre. So, not going to count that as him losing clean. I'm talking about clean pinfalls. Drew, maybe once in a blue moon, but it's not every single fucking week. Every single week when tag team champions for the women were on Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler was taking a pinfall loss. Here you have Bianca Belair, who just got done beating Bayley fair and square inside Hell in a Cell, losing to Bayley again. What the fuck's the point of being a champion? It's like champions are supposed to look strong. Look at AEW. Look at Kenny Omega. How often, if he's in a match where he's on the losing side, he's not the one taking the pinfall. Look at the Young Bucks when they teamed up with Michael Nakazawa. Who took the pinfall in that match? It wasn't the Young Bucks, it was Michael Nakazawa. Why the fuck are we going to have Bianca Belair taking the pinfall loss? Would it have killed you to have Cesaro take the loss? No, it had to be Bianca Belair. Somebody whose title reign is not doing, she's not doing very well in this title reign. It's obvious that WWE just doesn't know how to book strong champions. And it sucks. We see Jimmy backstage pacing around. We come back to the ring. The crew members are preparing the ring for the official coronation of King Shinsuke Nakamura. It is official. Baron Corbin is no longer the king. It is officially King Shinsuke Nakamura. I tried. Don't ever do that again. Back from break, and Jimmy stops Paul Heyman backstage asking, what does Roman mean by prove it? Heyman says Jimmy's family has the head of the table that they need, which is Roman Reigns. But he needs a right-hand man, and if Jay doesn't want to show up and be that, then main event Jimmy Uso is it. Heyman tells him, win a match. Just win a match. Jimmy's like, tonight? Okay, I can do that. Heyman's like, you want me to go do that? He's like, yeah, sure, I'll take on anybody. And Heyman's like, you better win, because if you don't, he gets a smug look on his face, taps him on the shoulder, and walks off to get the match. Now, at this point, I'm like, ooh, they're setting this thing up perfect. Jimmy's going to go in there, he's going to wrestle this match, and he's going to lose because he's going to be a failure, because it proves that he can't do what his brother can do. And yeah, we'll talk about that later because it was a hell of a match. The person he went up against. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. We go to the ring and official coordination of Shinsuke Nakamura plays The crown is rotating on the podium, which I could have swore it was last week, so it is confirmed tonight. Cole shows us the recent happenings between Nakamura and Baron Corbin that led to Nakamura winning the battle for the crown last Friday. Rick Boogs has his mic and his guitar now. He gives the grand introduction to Nakamura, and out he comes, all white. All white jacket, white pants, white shoes, white belt. He was all dressed to the nines in white. While Boogs plays in, Nakamura takes a seat at the throne immediately. Boogs continues to play. Nakamura is then crowned by Rick Boogs while he's playing. He gets up, dances around as Boogs screams out, telling everyone to hail the new king. We see Corbin walking backstage, shaking his head. Kayla Braxton walks up and is like, Baron Corbin. She shakes her head like, I'm sorry, Baron Corbin. He said he lost it all, not just the crown. A very sad and disappointing Corbin walks up. He says, what's the point? And he walks away. We see the coronation celebration continue in the ring. Now, sometime in that coronation ceremony, Pat McAfee got on top of his chair and just starts spilling, like drowning himself in water for some stupid fucking reason. And then we see the most cringiest part of the show outside of Bianca Belair's promo. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville are trying to rock out to Boogs' playing and Nakamura's music. And I'm like, do not ever show that again. That was cringe as fuck. Rollins walks in, he says, now that it's time. Rollins says it's not what he could do for them, it's the other way around. He brings up Roman Reigns' State of the Universal title address from later on, and says he should be Reigns' next challenger. He makes a case for being Reigns' next challenger and says he's never been more prepared in his life, mentally, spiritually, physically, and more importantly, no one on this roster deserves a chance like he does. Pierce says they're not ready to make that decision yet, and Neville says they will take it under advisement. Rollins says the time is now, then walks off. No. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are heels. Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns is the heel that everybody wanted. Seth Rollins is the despicable heel that everybody can't stand. I do not, under any circumstances, do not want to see Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Because you know that's going to turn Roman Reigns heel, babyface. We do not need to see Roman Reigns babyface anytime fucking soon. So, and thankfully something happens at the end of the night that probably diverts that. And honestly, when this rumored draft comes up in, August? I think it's right after SummerSlam. Seth Rollins needs to be moving to Monday Night Raw. Keep him away from Roman Reigns, plain and simple. Apollo Crews versus Big E, Money in the Bank qualifying match. This was a good match. Big E and Apollo Crews work real well together. Now, the right person won, it was just done in the wrong way. I thought of Commander Aziz, who tries to get involved, interfered as he goes to ringside. Biggie with a big Uranagi on the floor. He rolls Crews back into the 7 count. Aziz slams Biggie back in the barrier, but the referee sees him before he can deliver the Nigerian nail. She ejects Aziz, I think it was the female ref, to the back as the fake fans pop. Crews rolls Biggie up for the big distraction for a 2 count. Biggie comes right back in, hits the big ending for the pin and the qualification. First off, why couldn't Biggie qualify over anybody else? Second, if you were going to have Biggie qualify, why not have Commander Aziz cause the disqualification? Protect his man. Protect his champion. Because as long as that guy has the championship, Commander Aziz will be needed. The second Apollo Crews loses that championship, Commander Aziz is practically done. So yeah, I would have did it differently. A Nigerian nail to Biggie would have been better than, referee than anything else. But hey, do you, WWE. We see still the same win over Kevin Owens at Hell in a Cell. Braxton is backstage as Sami now. He's in a much better mood this week after being down, and he's going forward in the future. Kayla says he will be in the Money in the Bank qualifier against Kevin Owens next week, which I thought Kevin Owens was taking time off for storyline purposes. Apparently, that's only a week. He goes back and ranting about conspiracies, how we're messing with karma in his life. He addresses he won it in Hell in a Cell, and this isn't right. He walks off ranting, raving, and pissed off. So, again, we have to go through another match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn next fucking week. Oh boy, I am excited, said no one in the last 2-3 years. So, Sonya Deville comes out, and she has been introduced, and Deville will be making the first selection for the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match for the SmackDown side. As Deville marches to the ring, we go back to commercial break. And this is what I was talking about, how SmackDown is hemorrhaging the women's division. Because you had enough women on Monday Night Raw to have 2 tag team matches to fill up their roster. And SmackDown is very low. I mean, hell, Raw has got 14 on Monday Night Raw. SmackDown has 12. But the 2 of those, Tamina and Natalya, are your tag team champions, and Mia Yim hasn't shown up on that SmackDown either. So that's 3 women out right there. Bayley and Bianca Belair are going to be going the other way. So that's really interesting because she picks Carmella. Carmella is the first woman to be added. I have a feeling that Sasha Banks is going to be added to the Money in the Bank towards the end of this entire thing. And that's where we're going to go from there. So I'm pretty sure that is where we're going to go for this. Is that Bianca Belair. I'm not sorry, Bianca Belair, but Sasha Banks will be added to the Money in the Bank women's ladder match. But, yeah. And one of the tag team champions is going to have to be added. Unless Mia Yim makes her debut and gets added somehow, some way. Which would be interesting. But, yeah, still haven't seen her. Liv Morgan, of course, Carmella comes out. She's all gloating, all happy. She's the most beautiful woman in the WWE. No, don't care. Not going to say anything. Liv Morgan comes out. She's not happy with the fact that she thinks she should be worthy, even though Liv Morgan beat her last week, even though you got beat by Carmella the week before. They have words. Liv Morgan slaps Carmella. Sonya Deville gets in between them and says, "You know what? That's a compelling case. Liv, how about you have a match now? If you can beat Carmella, I will consider you for the Money in the Bank ladder match." Q match, same thing as before. Now, you had Liv Morgan had a chance to win this with her off the ropes face buster or whatever that fucking thing's called. Let me see. Does she even have a name for that move? But unfortunately, when she went for the pin, she grabbed the inner leg instead of the outside leg, so the outside leg hit the ropes. Eventually, she does roll her up into a 1-2-3. Liv heads to the floor and taunts the frustrated Carmella, who looks on from the ring. Carmella calls Mike Rome over, and he announces that Carmella is still the most beautiful woman in the world. Kelly Braxton was backstage with Jimmy Uso. He missed his pressure is on, but he's not avoiding it. He dedicates this match to his family and Jey Uso. He says he hopes Roman Reigns is watching. And again, at this time, I'm like, there's no fucking way this guy should win this match. Why would you have Jimmy Uso win the match if he's trying to fill in for his brother? And wouldn't it make more sense to have Jimmy lose to this? It's going to be Dolph Ziggler. He ends up facing Dolph Ziggler. Wouldn't it make sense for him to lose, come back and try and make excuses, and Roman Reigns just laughs at him and shoos him away? That's something that, like, I don't get why they didn't go that route. But beggars can't be choosers on that one. And yeah, so Dolph Ziggler versus Jimmy Uso. There was a really gnarly spot in this after Jimmy took out Robert Roode over the announce table. He's backing up a little bit. Dolph Ziggler actually grabs him into a zigzag onto the steel steps. That looked brutal. And they have this match, and Dolph Ziggler, again, showing why he is definitely one of the best workers in WWE. Like, if Jimmy, like, we've seen what Jay can do. We've seen who Jay can work with. We've seen everything that they've done with Jay. This was Jimmy's first singles match, I think, in a long while in WWE, if not ever. And you didn't know what he could do on his own. Dolph Ziggler went out there and made this guy look like $1,000,000, even after the nasty spot with the because he hit the zigzag at the top of the stairs, and Jimmy Uso's body just slid down the steps, bumping down the way, hitting every freaking corner and edge that you would see. That did not look pretty at all. So, more back and forth in their feet now. Ziggler fights off a powerbomb and rolls Jimmy Uso for 2. Jimmy hits the super kick. 1, 2, 3. Jimmy gets the win. Which, honestly, again, I didn't think was going to happen. I figured Dolph Ziggler was going to win by holding the tights or something, holding the pants or whatever, and getting away with a cheap victory. Jimmy goes back, says something to Roman. Roman doesn't want to hear it and tells him to get out of his face. That's what I thought was going to happen. That honestly did not happen. So, Jimmy goes to the back. He's smiling. He's like, "How was that, son? How was that?" Roman just laughs a little bit. His music hits. He goes to the ring. Jimmy's going to go with him, but Paul Heyman's like, nah, man. You did good. You did good. And Paul Heyman follows Reigns. So they come out for the State of the Universal title. Heyman has a video to show us. He says the footage almost speaks as eloquently as he does. The video of Heyman's showing the SmackDown Tag Team Champions over the last several weeks, including last Friday's Hell in a Cell win over Ray. Fans with the fake Roman sucks chants, and of course, Heyman has to pretend like they're actually there. Ray, the head of the table does not suck, but here's something that sucks in the solution for the problem. How the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, he actually mentioned Strowman, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Hall of Famer Edge, Cesaro, and the Mysterios were all toppled by Reigns. He says Bryan was man enough to come back, but he got shipped right back to hell back out. In less than a year, Reigns has taken out the entire division, so now they have to do something that's never been done before on network TV. They have no other choice because there is no one else. He hands the mic to Reigns. He just stands there as the fake chants come up, and out comes Edge. With a new t-shirt, by the way. I couldn't exactly read what it said. Takes off his jacket. He looks ready to fight. He stands on the ramp. Pyro goes off. Rushes the ring. They has fight as they beat the hell out of each other. Edge has the upper hand. He throws Reigns back in the ring. Reigns hits a Superman punch. Goes to get a chair. Edge hits a spear. Puts Roman's head on the chair, looking to do a concerto as he goes to get another chair. Here comes Jimmy. Jimmy starts beating up on Edge. Edge gets out of that. Edge fights back with the Sens Uso with its steel steps. Which, man, Jimmy and the steel steps were quite a pair tonight. Edge changes the charges and puts Jimmy through the barricade with a spear. He slowly makes his way back to the ring, but Reigns has retreated to the stage. And then, this was the dumbest part of this. Edge is in the middle of the ring. Roman is on the stage. Edge looks into the camera and says, "Where are you, Roman? Where are you? If you want me, I'm right here." And I'm thinking to myself, dude, he's right up on the stage. Why are you not looking at Roman on the stage and saying this to him? Why are you saying it into the camera? It makes you look fucking stupid. The Post-Hell in a Cell edition of SmackDown goes off the air. This is a better... I don't want to say it, but it is a better move for Edge versus Roman Reigns than it is the other one, which is Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. I do not, under any circumstances, want to see Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. And they can drag this out enough to where, because John Cena is going to be the one they're going to have at SummerSlam. So the next one, of course, is Edge at Money in the Bank. John Cena at SummerSlam. Seth Rollins gets drafted to the Monday Night Raw, get him off of SmackDown to get him away from Roman Reigns, because we do not need to see that match. The problem is they got to find somebody after Roman Reigns is done with John Cena and Edge to have him face, and I don't know who that's going to be. So they go off the air. SmackDown, again, outside of outside of the Money in the Bank match, which, again, why do you want to be a champion and go to and be a champion in WWE if all you're going to do is make them look like a loser when you're a champion? They've been doing this for years, and it just doesn't make any sense why you continue to do this. You can't find another way to get a women's, number one contender? Oh, no, because everyone else is going to be in Money in the Bank. You fucking matter. But, yeah. Next week, we get another Money in the Bank qualifying match for the men, which is going to be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, last man standing. I call a Sami Zayn match to win. Kevin Owens was supposed to be going away for a while, but apparently Vince WWE forgot about that. Maybe that's how they'll rate him off next week, because honestly, it didn't feel like they wrote him off at Hell in a Cell. It just felt like a normal match. Having a last man standing match will actually write him off. And what's going to be the saga of Jimmy and Jey Uso with Roman Reigns? Well, did Jey actually tell his brother he ain't coming back? Or was Jimmy lying? And is this going to lead, because I'm still waiting for what, is this going to lead to Jimmy versus Jey? Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if the last slot for the men on the SmackDown side would be either Jimmy or Jey in a one-on-one match against each other on SmackDown, which I can see them doing. The winner goes to Money in the Bank and is the true right-hand man. But we'll have to see what happens next week. Okay, episode of SmackDown. But that is all. Hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. And find me on Instagram, The France Club. And I will see you guys on tomorrow, actually, for Saturday Night AEW on TNT. Until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.